Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. Again, we're gonna give us just a minute and let some people join while we're waiting. We're gonna be talking all about HubSpot's new content hub today, going over some of the product updates and features, and then spending a good time with Q&A. So specific questions that you guys have around HubSpot's new content hub, want to make sure those get covered. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. And or feel free to unmute yourself and ask them directly. I do have a presentation to share today, but if you have specific questions, I know we have a smaller group as it stands, and we'll see as people join, but would love to make this as action-packed and as relevant for you as possible. So feel free to jump in and ask questions, and we'll save some time for that at the end as well. We'll hang out here for a little as people are joining. I'll go ahead. If you want to tell us in the chat your name, your location, position and company. Let us know if you're HubSpot CMS for Marketers certified, now HubSpot Content Hub certified. And if you're currently using Content Hub, and again, please, any questions you have, we would love to spend this time answering those for you. Awesome. Peyton, it looks like using parts of Content Hub, but not super familiar. It's a very robust tool, so definitely understand that it can be a little bit overwhelming, the ins and outs of everything that is involved with previously CMS Hub, now Content Hub. Thanks for joining us today. I will give myself a little introduction. I do not have my co-host today, so your speaker will just be me. I am Megan Sullivan. I'm the creative director for Next New Marketing. We are a HubSpot Platinum agency who partners with HubSpot to host some of the Content Hub related events on HubSpot's behalf. I have been working in HubSpot, specifically CMS/Content Hub, for a little over 8 years now. So building websites, building landing pages, utilizing everything Content Hub related, and am passionate about the tool and about learning from each other, growing from each other, doing better marketing together. So again, happy to be here with you guys, and thank you for spending your Thursday with us. HubSpot CMS, we're in the process of rebranding all of our assets to now Content Hub. We have some different events and programs that you guys can join if you are not already a part of them. So one of them is going to be the Content Hub for Marketers study group. It's pretty much just a forum where you can hop on there and ask questions. If there's things you're struggling with, things you're frustrated about inside of HubSpot Content Hub, it's a great place where we're monitoring this board, as well as a lot of HubSpot employees, HubSpot reps, and then also just active users in the platform are monitoring and constantly asking questions and answering questions and sharing things that are working well for them, things that are frustrating and challenging, et cetera, inside the hub. So if you're not already a part of that, I would encourage you to join that. And then we also host Content Hub for Marketers office hours and events. So that is what you guys are at right now. Try to do them once or twice a quarter. They can be 30-minute Q&A kind of conversations. And sometimes we do a little bit longer forum conversations where we have a little bit more updates to share. But again, we want to make these as impactful and actionable for you guys as possible, so you come away with new tips and tricks when utilizing HubSpot's Content Hub. Today's agenda, and let me just pop those links in the chat while I've got them here. So you guys can join those if you are not already. Perfect. Thank you guys for joining. Sounds like you're utilizing lots of different parts of HubSpot. Some of you CMS, Enterprise, Sales Marketing Pro, so you'll have access, Jennifer, to a lot of the tools that are the new Content Hub experiences with Enterprise, which is exciting to get to play around with, because a lot of new, really cool things being launched in Content Hub. Today's agenda, if you're not familiar with Content Hub updates, if you've been using HubSpot for a while, you've probably seen some changes in layout in your dashboard when you get into HubSpot as it relates to CMS Hub now moving into Content Hub. So I'm going to quickly cover kind of the overview of what that change is. And then I'm going to play just a short video that highlights some of the latest updates, product updates for Q4 directly from HubSpot. A lot of really cool things surrounding AI. We were going to talk and get into Content Remix a little bit today as well. So I'm going to play a quick just overview video. That's a really good recap of everything new. And then we're going to spend some time at the end, question and answer. So please at any time drop your questions in the chat. Okay, so Content Hub, again, if you are have been using HubSpot for a little bit, you've probably noticed some changes to your portal, some restructuring. So CMS Hub previously was just landing pages and website pages. It existed in its own little website portal inside of the HubSpot dashboard. Now you'll see that website, landing pages, and blogs have all moved under the Content Hub. So it's not just a web solution now, it's now a full content solution that includes blogs, podcasts, embeds, which help you connect your HubSpot platform with your WordPress site if you are hosting your site already on WordPress, and then all sorts of different content, podcasts, etc., outside of just website pages. And landing pages and blogs have now moved into Content Hub. Previously, they were under Marketing Hub. Now they're a part of Content Hub. So really cool, better integration with WordPress. If you are already using a WordPress site and you kind of have a WordPress HubSpot mix, so you're using HubSpot maybe for some landing pages, blogs, but the base of your site is hosted in WordPress, Content Hub embeds are going to be massive for you to help leverage some of the data that you have on your HubSpot portal and integrate that into your WordPress site. So big wins there, and then lots of new features that you will now get with Content Hub. I will quickly pull up the pricing for Content Hub. If you are currently on CMS Hub and are happy with CMS Hub, you can definitely stay on CMS Hub. And if you want to migrate over to the Content Hub, you'll have all the same features that you would with CMS Hub, except for some of the new Content Hub features that are available only to Content Hub users. If you're curious what this looks like for you to migrate, update, upgrade, etc., I would recommend getting in touch with a HubSpot sales rep to talk you through the best options for you if you're currently on CMS Hub and interested in exploring some of the Content Hub features. But you can get started with Content Hub for as low as $20 a month per seat, which is a very low barrier to entry for a lot of really cool features. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my slides here and pull up a quick video that goes over a lot of the new AI-related Content Remix, blogging-related updates that are available exclusively with Content Hub. So let me pull up that screen and we will take a look together here. And again, as you guys have questions, please ask as you're watching through this. We will talk and make sure that any questions that you have gets answered about the specific products and go into more detail at the end. All right.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Q2 Product Roundup. I'm Gabe Wahab, and today I'm super excited to show you all the new features we have for Content Hub. The first feature I want to show you is Content Remix. And today we have so many channels and so many formats, it just can be so difficult as a marketer to keep up on all the different channels and formats. And so with Content Remix, I can take something like a blog, a landing page, some text, and I can remix it into other formats very quickly. So let's take a look at how that works. So first, I'm going to start by clicking this Start Remixing button. And what that's going to do is that's going to then allow me to add some content here. So I'll just say a blog post. I'll choose any blog post I want here. Then I can add that content. And this is going to be my initial starting point. And then from there, I can start to pick all the different types of content that I want to remix it into. So this is something really great, for instance, for creating different campaigns very quickly. And so let's say I want to choose a blog post. I want to choose a landing page. I want to choose an email. Let's say I want to choose some social posts. And I can very quickly then begin to remix them. So for my blog here, what's my objective around this blog? What do I want to do with it? How long do I want it? For landing pages, I can choose what templates. I can give it more information around what I want to generate. Email, social, which network do I want, and so on. So then all I have to do is click Generate, and you can now see it's starting to create this content for me. This is going to take a few seconds, so I'll wait for this marketing magic to continue here. Now that the marketing magic is done, you can see here it's generated a blog post, a landing page, an email, and some social posts. And it's given me this entire campaign in a box very quickly. From here, I can very quickly just go into here and I can either copy it or I can save and edit it directly in my app within HubSpot. Now, another way that I can use this is I can use a save template from a remix that I previously used. So let's see here, I have my Hub and Spoke creator. What I do is I give it a blog post and then it'll very quickly then generate all the different blogs underneath it. So all I have to do is come in and give it a new blog to start from. Here, I can just select any blog and then it's very quickly then going to start regenerating all of the new blogs for me. So I can save this. And you can see it's just going to start going through this one more time and it's generating all these new blogs. So I gave it an initial blog and it's creating all my spokes underneath it. I can also use it for something like social, for instance. Let's say I wanted to give a new blog and have it create my social posts every single time for all my blogs. And the possibilities are just endless for this. Now, the next thing you might say is, Gabe, I don't want to use AI because it doesn't sound like me. It has this very robotic voice and tone. But guess what? Everything we just created here is using our brand voice feature. And so it's creating it in your unique brand voice. So let's go take a look at that. So this is on my brand voice feature. Now all I have to do is I can say generate brand voice. And what I can do is I can just paste in a quick writing sample. Now what I did is just went to a blog and I copy and pasted the text from it. I'm going to tell it this is a blog post. I'm going to tell it this is going to be for CEOs and marketers. And then I'm going to click next. And what it's going to do now, it's going to generate a voice and a tone for my work here. And so you can see here, it has my personality, it has my tone. I can choose different types within here, 4 different types. I can choose different tone types. And then when I'm done, it's going to have those brand voice in here. I can give it some additional context to tell a little bit more about my company. And I can choose what channels I want this used in. So within blogs, within emails, within pages, within social. And you can see we just created all of that just in our previous content remix. And so what it's doing is it's creating it in that unique voice of our company that we just created. Now, another place that you can use brand voice is with our AI blog feature. So let's go take a look at that. So this is our new AI blog, and our AI blog consists of several different features. And the first one I want to show you is called our AI blog post generator. And I love this feature. It just saves us so much time in writing blogs. I remember whenever I used to write a blog, it used to take me like 10 hours to write a blog, all the way from all the keyword research to finding the images to the social posts that come along with it to the outlines and writing it. And it could just be a really time-consuming process. And so with the AI blog generator, it really helps you shorten the time it takes for you to write a blog and gives you better quality because you can then spend more time writing your blog and really doing research and really talking to people and just showing your expertise throughout that blog. So let's take a look at how that works. And the first thing is like, hey, maybe I don't know what I want to write about. And if I don't, I can just click this generate topics idea, and it's going to give me a topic right there that I can write about. If I just have like a general idea of what I'll talk about, so let's say I just want to talk about data analytics, maybe I can give it a topic. I can also give it a specific keyword. I can tell it what blog specifically I want to write it for. So in this case, I just want it for our English blog here. I'm going to click next. And now what it's going to do is it's going to give me a list of titles, but then it's going to do something else that I really love, which is going to do some keyword research for me. So what it's actually doing is it's talking to SEMrush right now, and you can see all this great keyword data that it brought in for me just doing that keyword research. So look here, it gave me some titles, which I can then edit, gave me some specific keywords to target here. And you can see here I have some short tail, I have some long tail. But then I can see from SEMrush, it gave me monthly search volume. How many people are searching for this? How difficult is it going to be to rank for this topic? So I can see that here. I have high search volumes. This one, high search volume, harder to rank for. This one's like a little bit more medium. But then also I see the intent. So I have these different intent signals around informational intent, commercial intent, transactional intent. And these align very well with the different stages in the buying process. So this shows me if this is an awareness stage or kind of an earlier stage of the buying process. They're probably an informational intent. They want to learn more about something. Or if they're doing research before they want to purchase something, that's more commercial intent. Or you have transactional intent. Users want to complete a specific action, like, hey, I'm ready to buy something right now. And so this is very valuable to allow me to know, like, hey, am I on track for who I'm writing this for and what they're looking for when they're searching this specific keyword. Then I click next, and what it's going to do is it's going to create this great outline for me. And what I can do is I can really start to showcase my expertise here, because not only is it going to create an outline, but this is where I can then make the magic happen to customize it to what I really need. So I can add or remove different outline paragraph headers. I can add specific talking points. Make sure to use this. Make sure to include this. Make sure to talk about this. So I can include those points under each one. But then also you can see here I have a specific image that it's also going to create for me. I can have my title. I have my description on here. So let's just say I'm going to say this is going to be a digital landscape surrounded by data points and charts. And let's see what it comes up with here. Now you can see this is the blog that it generated. So you can see here's the image it created. It created all the copy. You can see here my heading, the copy underneath it, and so on. And now I can go in and I can start to edit this. I can add my expertise. I can add some specific quotes from different experts if I like. I can add data points. I can add research. I can expand and contract on this using our different tools. And so this is going to save you a lot of time in the writing process. I can also come in and say, hey, I want to add some more images. So let's say I want another AI generated image. I can just come up in here and say, give me another image. Give me an example. It's lunchtime over here. I'm hungry. Let's say I want some verde salsa. And I can then choose like the different dimensions that I want. I can choose a different style if I want. I can click generate. And then it's going to generate this image for me, which I can then insert right in. I can edit it how I see fit. And I can put it right in my blog post, very easily telling it exactly what I want. Now, of course, the more specific I am with my description, the better I'm going to get an image here. So you can see here, though, it created some great images. I got my verde salsa. I'm going to choose this. I'm going to insert it right in. And you can see I have some delicious salsa, really great high quality image here that it very quickly generated for me as well. But on top of that, now I not only have this written, but I can add some really great features to this as well. One of my favorite here is called post narration. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click. It pulled in all of my copy from my blog into this transcript. I can go in and then make some edits, because if I am creating an audio version of this so that somebody can listen to it on the go, for instance, or for accessibility, just meeting users where they are, it's not necessarily going to read the same way as it's written. So I can go in and I can remove headers, or I can integrate in the text, whatever it is. I also have 6 different voices I can choose from. They're very realistic. So if
This is a sample of the
listen here.
selected voice reading aloud.
This is a sample of the selected voice. This is a sample of the selected voice.
So I'm going to choose echo here, and I'm just going to click generate. And you're going to see this is very quickly going to generate this. It's only going to take about 5-10 seconds. It's going to generate this narration for me, which I can then very quickly insert in, and users will be able to listen, whether they want to read, whether they're on the go, whatever the case is. Let's listen to how this sounds.
Embark on a journey through the evolving world of data analytics and unlock
Sounds
the
great. I
secrets
love
to
it. I'm going to add it to my
leveraging
blog
data.
post here. And now I have an audio version of this. Now, on top of that, another really great feature is called our member blog. And so as we know, third-party cookies are going away. We have AI search, which is coming up. It's getting harder and harder to capture users' attention. And so when we do get them to our site, we really want to make sure that we are capturing them, capturing that information. And so what I can do here is I can take this little read more. Wherever I have my read more, I can then make it a membership specific blog. So whether I want to make it just for that blog post, if I want to do it to every single blog that I have, I can choose to have certain blogs be for members only, so that they have to create an account in order to see that. So what I can do here is I can come up to my settings. I can say access control. I can just turn on the self-registration feature. So what you're going to see here when I preview this is what it's going to look like if you're not logged in. It's just going to prompt me here to create an account, and then I have to give my information, and then I'm able to see this full blog post. I don't have to do this every time. I can just sign in, and I'll be able to see everything that is set to that members only status. Now, there is one more feature I want to show you, and that is called AI Translate. And so if I'm creating a site and I want to have a blog, or if I want to have a page in multiple different languages, I can very quickly translate this into other languages. And so all I have to do is come up here and I can say multi-language. I can create my multi-language variant. Let's say I want to create a version of this in, for instance, Spanish. I can choose Spanish. And right here, you can see I can just turn on my AI Translate feature, which is powered by DeepL, very respected name in translation, really high quality translations. Let's create here. What you're going to see is it's going to convert all of my copy here into Spanish. And so you can see here, boom, I have my Spanish version. Now I can, and like I said, I can do this with pages. I can do this with blogs. But now I quickly create multi-language variations, have somebody look over those to confirm them, and I can expand my reach into other areas. Now, the next feature I want to show you is called podcasts. And I really love this feature because I can very quickly create a podcast without having to do a lot of effort and without even having to record something if I want. So you can see here, this is the podcast feature, and I have my RSS URL, and I can send this URL to Spotify, to Apple Music, to any of the major podcast providers. And right away, whenever I have a new podcast, it's just going to show up into their system. So if I jump into one of these podcasts here, I can create one fresh. This is essentially what it's going to look like, though. So you can see here, I'm going to give it, I have two options. I can either upload existing audio. So let's say I recorded a podcast and I just want to host it here, or I can generate a new podcast from that text. And so I can copy and paste that text in here. And then I can just, same way we did earlier, I can click generate, and it's going to create this audio version for me, which I can listen to here.
Today, we delve into the world of data analytics best practice.
Again, looks very realistic. And then I can just go in here and I can give it some episode details. So what's the title? What are the show notes going to be for this? I can generate an image for it. And then I can save this, and it's automatically then going to go over to my provider. I have a podcast very quickly, but then also I can very quickly add it to my website so I can start promoting it. And so if I come onto my page here, I can see I have all my podcasts within here, and it's super easy to add these. I just go into my page, I can click on one of these elements, and you can see all I did was I pulled in, these are just modules that I just pulled in, and all I had to do then was just select the episode that I wanted to display on my site. And so very quickly, I just created a podcast. I also then added it to my site, and now I can start promoting it. Now, the last feature I want to show you is called Content Embed, and oh boy, is this a big one. Because what this does is this allows you to take anything that you could create in a HubSpot page and use it on a WordPress website. And so with this, I can use smart content, right? I can use, I can create a custom portal. I can create some images of my team and then add it to my WordPress site and very quickly manage that from within HubSpot. I can also use this to create global sections, for instance, if you're a developer within HubSpot, so that all I have to do is make a change in one spot and it updates in multiple spots. So let's take a look at how this works. And actually what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to start in my WordPress website over here. And as you can see, this is my page, and you can see all I'm doing is I'm choosing a piece of content from within HubSpot. So you can see I have my content embed here. All I have to do is just choose which content embed I want, or I can create a new one or edit this current one. So let's say I want to edit this current one. It's going to open this up in HubSpot. And you can see here, I have my image, I have my text, and this is actually some smart content. So if I come over to the left-hand column here and I look, I have this variation, but then I also have a variation specifically that I'm using for an ad to target CEOs. So you can see here, I just created this in HubSpot. I was then able to come into WordPress here, very quickly was able to choose this and add it to my page. Also added my form here as well using our form integration. And now I'm able to have this landing page. So let's say I want to open this up. This is what it looks like on the front. And so you can see here, this is my page. And if I have my smart content variation, if I'd like, and equals CEO, and you'll see here is my other variation as well. This just allowed me to use smart content from HubSpot on WordPress. So I was able to personalize this website specifically to the user who was visiting it. But also I can do this again. I can create custom membership areas. I can do so much more with this by tapping into the CRM and so on. And that is our product roundup for Q2. Thanks all so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed these new features.
Awesome. So lots of exciting, meaty product updates coming with Content Hub. I know he just covered a ton and very high level and very fast paced. So I know we don't have a ton of time left, but with the time left, I would love to answer any questions you guys have specifically about any of the features, the latest Content Hub features, and or anything Content Hub in general. I will hang out for the next bit and be happy to chat through a lot of this with you. Curious on our end if anyone's planning on playing with AI podcasts. A very intriguing update from HubSpot and some quick wins that can happen easily with a lot of these updates if you guys do have access to Content Hub. And some of the features we talked about, some of the really quick wins and easy updates that you can do are enabling post narration on any of your blog posts, which is just going to generate that audio file. It takes about 2 minutes to set up your brand voice. If you have some content that you already feel confident about, that communicates clearly who you are and what your brand sounds like. You're going to do that in your brand settings. And then anything that you're generating via any of HubSpot's AI tools on the back end are going to populate using that data. So the more you feed the AI, the better output it's going to come out with. So again, exciting features. I know I'll keep my eye out for some questions coming through, but I know we had some questions about Content Remix. Some things I'll note with Content Remix. Very cool tool that I would encourage you to play around with. They have also, HubSpot has a lot of cool templates. So if you're not even sure what all you can do with the tool or what campaigns you can put together with Content Remix. So basically you can start from one piece of content, whether it be a blog or even just a text file. So if you have a blog that's written, not even posted in a HubSpot blog yet, you can upload it and then generate landing pages, ads, social media, emails, etc., all directly from HubSpot's Content Remix. Some things I'll note just as far as functionality there, it's not like a workflow tool, so it's not going to automatically schedule or update any of those pieces of content. It's going to populate them directly in the editor for you. So for example, if you're going to populate an email, you can select some style. So it will ask you some additional content when you select what you're wanting to remix your original content into. And then you will be able to open that directly in the email editor. So you can add in your list, your segmentation, and the additional layer of strategy of where you are going to and how you are going to use this piece of Content Remix. Content embed pages trackable on Google Analytics. So that depends on how you have your Google Analytics set up. But if you have Google Analytics installed on your WordPress site, they will be tracked just as a normal part of your content page there. Again, it gets a little funky if you're using or utilizing smart content, how that Google Analytics populates on the back end, but it will be tracked, as long as you've got Google Analytics set up on your WordPress site. Good question there. Again, content embeds are going to be really cool if you are using HubSpot as well for any of your content, because you can use it as was previously with HubSpot's templates, global modules. So you can basically create one source of truth for content on your site and then edit in your content embed area. And that's going to update on any page that you've got that content embed installed, which has been a little bit of a limitation with themes. So exciting updates from that end as well. Yeah, we're very excited to get in and play around with some of these updates. Curious if there's any other things you guys saw you're curious about, any other updates you're particularly excited about on your end when it comes to some of these latest features. Has anyone tried any, had success, had wins with Content Hub new updates yet? Does Content Hub work with any other websites aside from WordPress? So that is a bummer. As of now, Content Hub embeds only are accessible for WordPress. I'm hopeful that they will expand this so that way you can integrate that embed with different external sites. But right now it is just WordPress and HubSpot. Content Hub users would be able to take advantage of content embeds. Hoping, though, that expands to different platforms as it stands. Good question. Thanks, Leah. Brand Voice AI, yes. Awesome. That's good to hear. So it sounds like Tanya has added her brand voice into HubSpot, played around with the brand voice blogging, and had success there. Again, with AI, you always want to keep in mind that the more you feed the tool, the more the tool is going to give you a better output that sounds less inhuman and more like your brand. So that's a big win. Global modules sound great. Yep. Yeah, that's going to be a massive win. A ton of people have large content of pages, and creating something directly in content embeds, popping it on the page, being able to edit it directly in content embeds and not have to go through 30 plus pages to update is a big win. There are some limitations in that depending on how your template or theme is set up, you might not have access to all of the modules on your site, but you can create entire sections in content embeds. So you do have a decent amount of flexibility. I think there are 60 some modules that you'll have access to as it stands with content embeds, of course, depending on how your template or theme is set up. But yeah, we were excited about that update on our end as well. Some things we're playing with too are with Content Remix. Kind of you can create an endless loop of content. Another quick win with Content Remix is start with your high value content. So if you have a high converting landing page, a high traffic blog, start there and use Content Remix as a quick win to repurpose that content cross channels. And then you can create more blogs from that initial blog and essentially create kind of an endless loop of content, doing very little effort on your end. Of course, you're going to want to go in and make sure it sounds and makes sense for your brand and your business. But another quick win, if you're thinking about playing with Content Remix, start with content that you already know is high value, working well for your site, and use it and spread it even further with the tool. We are right at 4:31. I'll hang out for another couple of minutes. I will make sure you guys have the access and the follow-up to this with that video so you can share it with your team directly, anyone else you want to have. Take a look at some of those latest updates and some helpful resources for getting started with some of those elements inside of Content Hub and exploring them. Again, thank you guys so much for joining and connecting. I'll put my email in here too if you have any specific questions as you get into the tool that you're stumped with. Feel free to shoot me over an email. And if I do not know the answer, I will find someone who does and can get back to you on that.